essentially guys aren't that savvy. They always fuck it up. So you have to focus on one. Absolutely.
So you have to focus on one girl. Like if that's the girl that you want,
Okay.
like isn't it won't it just like consume your mind though? If you're focused on one girl or one guy, it could be girl, guy, it doesn't matter because we're answering this to everyone else.
Okay.
But if we focus on one person, wouldn't
Okay.
like our minds get like so invested into that one person that like if they don't text back right away, if they don't do anything, you kind of like lose yourself? Isn't it better to would it be better to like have multiple people that you're talking to even though you really focus on that one? Like
I mean, yes, I think because in a world like right now, everyone has ADD, it seems. Like their attention span is so short. So if, they don't hear from one girl, they're on to the next.
yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like that's just the way it is because everybody is so accessible through social media.
Yeah, that's what I'm like kind of thinking of because and this happens to me, and I'm pretty sure it happens to a lot of us. But like when we're focused on one person and we really want to hear back from that one person, you're consumed about everything you text, say, or do, right?
Okay.
But like if you kind of like spread your focus, if like this person doesn't message you back, then like a couple days go by or whatever, you're not even paying attention because you're already messaging other people to keep you entertained or to keep you focused or off focus from that person that you really want. Like, you see what I mean? Like, has that ever happened to you where you just like all eyes on one
I
and it
mean,
consumed you?
not really for me. No, it hasn't. And I don't mean to sound bitchy like that, but I just never, I don't want to say it. Like I've really never, oh God, this is bad. Like I haven't really been like dumped. Like I don't know. Like, yeah, Chuck dumped me the first month. That's because he knew this was so good. He was afraid, like, he would be caught up and he was, right?
Professor Xavier did?
I was like 15. Like, come on. That doesn't even count. And then he's like, yeah, you were crying over this dick. And I was like, fuck you. Like, you were 1 minute, like, the first time. Yeah, it was not good. It was. Well, he was in high school, right? He was just like, like, I don't know. Like, I think he was I don't even think he came the first time because he was so afraid, like, right?
Golly.
Anyway, long story short, he knew he loved me. I made him fall in love, and then he dumped me because he was like, fuck this. Like, I don't want to make time for a chick, whatever. He was scared, I think it was. So he dumped me, and then I was sad for a bit, and then we ended up getting back together. And then that was it. Like,
so you never had that play on the court, like where you're interested in someone and you want to hear from them, you want to get them, but like your main focus was just on them and like it never really like consumed you?
Not for me, because I don't know. I'm weird, I guess. I don't know. I just don't like fall for people easily. Like I just don't love, I just don't.
I'm not saying love. Love has nothing to do with this.
Okay.
Like, I'm not saying that. But like, like a person that you're interested, something that you're interested in your life. That's all you think about when you're texting and they text you back. You're like, oh, you feeling cool. But like if they don't text you back, sometimes on both ends, like you're just emotionally invested where you're like kind of like, oh man, like you want to text, you want to double text, you want to triple text, you want to keep the conversation going. My thing is, what I'm saying is that I think like to avoid that situation, because it happens to like some of us that aren't married or some of us that come across a lot of people, and it's not as like as I don't want to say as easy to get more and more people, but you always want the hottest thing and that hot chick that you're texting. Like instead of ruining it, if you're talking to a bunch of people, if that person doesn't message back, then you're occupied by either doing something business wide, whatever you're doing, but you're occupied by the flirtatious text messages you're getting from other females to like pretty much
fill that void, so you're not so focused.
Yeah,
I think that's what most guys do these days. I mean, maybe that's just how dating is, or just like how people are. That's how they are these days, just because, like I said, social media has made it so easy just to kind of reach out and connect with a ton of people, right? So, I mean, I guess it just depends on where you're at in your life too, because if you're like maybe, I don't know, to the point where you're done wanting to, I don't know if guys are ever done wanting or girls, but like you kind of want to settle down and you're ready. Like, okay, you've done it all. You've like had more ass and like fucked so many people. Like you're okay. Like you're good. You got it all out of your system. Maybe you're looking for you know, more, then invest in one. But if you're not trying to get serious, then why not?
My thing is that if you invest in that person, I think at the start,
Yeah.
just to keep talking to everything else, 'cause you don't want to close everything off if you're just talking to this person and nothing's really
Yeah.
happened. You know, this is at the beginning stage. Now, if we're like 6 months in, then that's different. But if you're at the beginning stages of
Yes. Then
texting,
yeah,
you gotta text other people, because if
you
you
do.
don't,
You do.
if you don't,
100%.
you're gonna sound needy, you're gonna sound greedy, you're gonna sound just,
Codependent,
oh my God,
clingy,
it's gonna be so bad.
worst.
So that's what I perceive in that. But another sexual question that I had pop up on this is the best lubricant for intercourse. I don't know who sent this on there, but regardless, what is your best lubricant that you go with? Because like there are those ones that like for her pleasure, for his pleasure, hot, warm, all that stuff, KY.
Yeah. So if you're doing anal, then you want a silicone based. Absolutely. And I believe I should know this because the king of anal, you literally, when you go into his house, it's like a fucking slip and slide. He has so much anal sex.
Who is
It's
this?
it's fucking Mike Adriano. When you go into his place, it's this fucking high rise. It's a badass place with all this like crazy freaking decor, bright because he films all his shit there. But when you go in, literally you're skiing. It is so slippery because he fucks everywhere, and most of the time it's anal. And it's
Wait a minute. You're telling me that in his house it's all slippery because he just has KY all over the place?
on the. I mean, it's a fucking fuck fest.
That's,
His place is
I don't
nuts.
know. Like in my imagination that I'm using right now is kind of horrid of how this guy, like, because I don't know who this guy is, but if you just have KY jelly and you don't clean up after yourself, that's kind of gross.
Well, no, this is just like on days that like he's filming. So if like your second
Oh,
scene or like he had
that
a
makes
late.
sense. I thought this was like you went to his house like as a party and you're like slipping and falling because he has too much KY. That would have been a pretty disgusting sight to watch. But so he just boofs chicks day and night in his place.
Yeah, he's the king of anal. Nobody really does it better than Adriano.
Well, what KY does he use, or what lubricant does he use?
That's what I'm looking. I see the bottle in my head, and he's just because obviously the more lube for anal, the better because your ass doesn't self lubricate, right?
No, I don't. No. Sure. Like,
Yes.
but
Um,
is it more her pleasure based, or are you gonna go more with his pleasure? Is it like the hot, warm, cold, soft, smooth? Like, is there too much? Let's say, can you add too much?
yes, because sometimes with the chicks, like guys, like you know, you hear of them saying like if it's too much, then there's no friction, right? It's just like you know, you can't. It's not enough friction. So you can do too much for the vagina, but you can never ever do too much for the ass. Literally, when I had my anal scene, I've only done a few anal scenes with him because he's built like a Coke can, like literally, like he's fucking huge. So I would have to stretch and stretch and stretch and like prep and mentally like get prepared.
Hold up, before you go there, how do you stretch? Are you Kegeling? Are you like?
We should be filming this shit.
Oh, we are filming. I don't know what
Oh,
you're
I
talking
didn't know that.
about the whole time.
Oh, this is good. Okay, good. All right. Okay, good. Okay, so before I got into like adult, I didn't even ever really do anal at all. And I was just like, because I didn't know how to do it and I didn't research it enough, whatever, long story short. So people would say, oh yeah, you just put a butt plug in there. And you do not. Like I've learned, and a lot of the girls over the years have given me a lot of help. So thank you guys so much. Annika Albright, she's awesome. And she taught me what to do. Anyway, as far as stretching, so you don't just stick a butt plug in there because a butt plug is wide and then narrow. Well, your ass is not wide and then narrow. It's a canal, right? A muscle that it's whatever. So you need actual, there's anal training kits and they're like a jelly soft. Yeah.
Anal training kits.
Yeah. And they start with something like the size of your pinky, maybe like this width, right? And then it goes up, 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 up. So before you work with Mike, I mean, he sends you a kit because girls have problems taking him. He'll send you a kit to your house, mail it to you. If you're going to work with him, if you do not get up to a certain size, they won't let you film with him because it means you're not going to be able to do the scene. So,
Really?
yes. So you get your kit, get your lube, you start your practice, and you just stretch. You know, you do your cleaning at, the night before, the morning of, and then you're stretching while you're in makeup. You just put it in there, but you don't want to do too much because then you can get sore, right? So there's a little trick that one of the other girls also taught me is an anal injector. You inject lube into this injector and literally you put it up in your asshole. So you are lubed from the inside. I know it's a messy job, but when it's done correctly, it can be very pleasurable. So
yeah, I probably won't do that. So to answer that question,
for a girl, you will maybe, right?
for a girl,
yeah, of course you're not taking it up the ass, but
no, of course I'm not. I'm like,
let me reiterate that. Of course I'm not. Oh, really? I'm like.
So, anyways, you have a kit. You have to sit there, and there's many different ways to stretch out to where you can make a scene. Like, have you encountered any like scenes or been around someone that never really prepped for it and then they just went all in?
No, because you can really hurt yourself. Like absolutely, you can you can get torn. Like it can be very dangerous. You know, even it really can. Like and very freaking painful. Like you had it where you stuck it. Maybe you're like trying to go for the vagina and then you stick it into the ass on accident. She's not ready. Like that shit hurts. I mean, you're down. I've been there.
She'll donkey jump right out.
I mean,
that's exactly what I've been in that situation before. Yeah. I told about that on my.
Yeah,
I think it was two ones ago. I went in, just.
Yeah. So you can down, you know, and man, whew, I mean, you're clenching, you're in fetal position. I mean, that was me at one point. Wow, wasn't expecting that. So yeah, it's really, and it's a lot of it's mental too. And I think too, if you clean properly, you know you're clean, you're going to be more relaxed. When you're more relaxed, you're going to be able to take it, right?
Yeah.
But you gotta
that makes sense. But yeah, before that, like, so do you guys, before sets and everything like that, are you guys like cleaning yourself? You have to go through a whole entire system to make sure you're wiped down, cleaned up. I know you guys have to test a lot for any type of, you know, transmittable diseases, everything like that. So what is that process right before, not the test, but like the cleaning process?
Okay, so back to a veteran performer who I'm going to give props to, Annika Albright, really was the one who kind of, you know, she was younger than me, but she had more experience in it, and she taught me, she's awesome, how like her prep. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try it, whatever. So you order a kit, and you can get it from Amazon with discreet packaging. And you get, it's called an shower head enema. So it literally hooks up to your shower head, and it's a wand, and you can adjust temperature and the strength of the water stream. And what I would do, and this is what worked for me, everybody's different. They recommend that you don't eat after 8 or 10 o'clock the night before. And then even like the couple days before, you eat like lighter type foods. You're not eating like heavy greasy stuff. So just healthier, like chicken, rice, those types of things. Anyway, and then you clean the night before, you enema until clear, 100% clear. Okay. All right. You're good. You go to bed, you wake up, you can eat a normal breakfast because, you know, your food's going to take a while to process, and you probably won't be until after work or whatever. So you have some energy, because you're going to need a lot of energy for anal. Like it's just mentally, and especially it's not like just anal with your boyfriend or your husband, you know, and these dudes they're hung, you know, it's intense, you know? So yeah. And then I start stretching a little bit, like while I'm in makeup, you know, I'll do one more water enema just to make sure I'm clear. I'm clear, I'm good to go. I'm ready.
So nutrition's real big, even in this process. It's what it sounds like. Nutrition's real big with your guys' industry. and just kind of like fighting as well. Like you have to eat the right foods and you know, drink the right shakes and everything to make sure you're not, you know, pushing off any foul odors or something happens. Like I couldn't even imagine what was that scene in Zach and Miri Make a Porno where old boys with the, have you seen that one?
No,
You never seen Zach and Miri Make a Porno?
you need to though.
Oh, dude, it's hilarious. He's Katie Morgan, the porn
Oh
star.
yeah,
She's in
yeah,
the
with their
movie.
little voice, little Katie Morgan.
Yeah,
Yeah, your little
she's
voice.
in the movie, right? And anyway, she's in the movie, and like there's a point where they're doing the anal scene, and the videographer is like underneath them, like videotaping him going there. She's standing up, leaning over it, and like he just like pulled out, and all of a sudden she just shit everywhere,
Oh yeah.
all on top of the videographer. And it was probably the most hilarious scene you'll ever see inside of a TV or a movie. But I can't believe you've never seen that movie.
No, but I have seen that happen. It's
And oh,
on
you
set.
see that?
Oh
Real
yeah,
life?
like on the scene, like the second scene for the day or whatever. And oh yeah, or like if you know, and it's just a learning process. But like you know, I always tell the like I don't know why I like before I actually do my scene, and you know, I always like prep the like the directors or producers. I was like, you know what, you know, I'm obviously you know I have an anal scene today, and I have not had any issues, you know, so to speak. And, you know, I don't foresee any happening today. All we can do is hope for the best. And they're like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. But their thing is they've been shit on. They've had things on their lenses. I mean, if it's they've seen it all. Guys have seen it all, you know, and the guys that actually, can you imagine the
Oh
girl
no.
shits on them and they still have to like keep a boner, like cut and then come back. But you know what? Like, it's a job. Like Kieran Lee's like, oh, I don't care. I don't give a shit. Like, because they've seen it, man. Wow. Like, they don't care. They've done it so much. It's just like, whatever. But I would be devastated as a performer. You know, it just, I luckily I'm not.
And the girl side of it, are you talking? You'd be devastated if it happened to you, or
Oh
would
my
you be
God.
devastated if it was
If
me
it was me
going
that
on
he
them?
did on, I would feel so terrible and just so gross, you know. So luckily I haven't, but I'm like, because I think I'm super nervous and I actually care about my, you know, my who I'm working with. I'm like over prepared. Like I'll even Imodium just to make sure. It's not recommended because then my stomach's messed up for 2 days after. But I do it out of respect for my you know my who I'm working with and
Your
everybody else.
coworker.
Yeah. But I've been on set, what if you over enema because you're worried like that you're not going to be clean or something's going to happen. And then they go. It's like Niagara Falls.
Did you see Eric Anderson's recent post?
Which one?
The
No.
elephant.
Oh,
Did you see the one with the elephant?
no.
So Eric posted, Eric Anders, if you guys are listening, and go to Eric Anders, you know,
Oh, I gotta look
Instagram
at it.
page and look for an elephant. Well, it looked as if the elephant, the guy was trying to clean out the elephant's like back end, and they had their own enema. Where they put a garden hose in the butt of the
Why
elephant.
would they do that? Was it a medical problem for the
I don't know. I don't know the whole story. All I know is you see a garden hose in the back, and everybody's wearing raincoats. And then one of the guys walk up and grabs a hold of like a poo and is pulling it out because I guess it looks like the elephant's constipated, and it pops like a champagne bottle. And all of a sudden, all the water was loaded in there, sprayed everywhere. Yeah, as you see it.
Well, that's
Actually,
can you imagine? That's like a hazmat situation. But how much better does that elephant feel?
I bet you the
For
elephant feels
elephant.
amazing.
Aw.
But I bet you the guy that just got shat sprayed all over his face just to try to help the elephant out is not feeling pretty good. He's probably gagging right now.
Oh, but why wasn't he wearing gloves? What's wrong with these people?
I have no clue. There's no background to it. All it is just showing it directly right when he starts pulling and it explodes in his face. It's like those Derek Lewis style, you know, Instagram like 30-second videos. You don't have a background story. All you know is that some shit just went down literally.
Wow. No.
Yeah. But that's what I envision in that. I could not, and I don't know I don't know if I don't know if I could do that. If in the middle of like, you know, doing anal and then all of a sudden you pull out and the lady shits all over you. Like I don't know if I could continue. And then on top of it, could she continue? That's the thing, is like I think she's gonna be
Oh no.
bored.
when it's a job though, you have to, you know what I mean? It's
I don't
totally
get paid
your
for sex.
mentality. You have to like, I mean, I don't know. I would be devastated. I would want to crawl into a hole. Like I'm poop shy. Even now, like with my guy, oh no, I don't, some girls like, I don't even know how to say, I hate the word. I say toot. I do not do that. I will not do that in front of, I hate that word.
You don't
but
fart?
I don't do it in front of Professor X. It does not happen in front of him. I do not let him hear me. I have my own separate bathroom. I have matches. I have like my little spray. I have the fan. Like, I don't want him to hear anything. I don't want him to come smell anything. I need solitude.
Why are you so
Because
like
it's unexpected.
I get it. I understand. Like shit is nasty. There's no way you can make shit look good. Even no matter what, like most of us are scarred from that stupid ass video, Two Girls, One Cup.
Okay.
So we all know that shit is not something that is, but it's something our body naturally does. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. But I've never heard after being married for as long as you guys have, you don't like to fart near him.
I will not. I will not, because I still have an obligation as a wife, you know, as partner, whatever, to be, you know, I mean, granted, yeah, he sees me when I wake up, that type of thing, but you still have to act like a lady. Like, that's not ladylike to me. It's just not. It's,
So you won't Dutch oven him? You won't
I
fall
will
in
not.
the covers and trap? Has he done it
I
to
will
you?
not. Oh, it's been done to me. He's dirty, not Dirty Sanchez. I don't even know what that one is, but I just like the
Dirty
name.
Sanchez when he sticks it in your butt and smacks you right across the mustache and leaves a little screech. You didn't know that? You didn't know that the Dirty Sanchez?
I've heard of it before, but no. So no, I mean, he can Dutch oven me. He can just, you know, just do it, and I can call him out, but I can't do it back. It's just not who I am.
This is not who you are.
Can't do it.
I want to see you guys start pranking each other. Like these like YouTube fans, they do all this stuff. I think you guys would be great with pranks. I know Professor Xavier has he has some thoughts that go through his head that would be hilarious if he started pranking you.
He is. I don't even know. I don't think I've. I mean, it's like between him and his friend Jeff Elgert. I don't know who's worse. Anyway, they're pretty raunchy, but it's fun. Whatever.
I feel it.
It's exciting, you know. Do I like the Dutch oven? No, God, and it's not that often because I go off on him. I'm like, you motherfucker!
Golly.
I can't believe you.
Golly. Well, we're going to take a second and let's start talking about and give our fans a little update that what we're going to start doing with betting and with booking. We have a sponsor that we're in talks with, and we haven't solidified it yet, but we're going to start giving out free bets on the podcast. We're going to be talking about different sports, football, basketball, baseball, give out a couple free bets, and we're going to help you guys go to a site. And we're going to make a segment directed towards this site. So once we start getting down and figured everything out, we will be posting this every Friday. And I mean, it's going to be fun, right? Like you've made a lot of money in the past couple of weeks on some sports, right?
Get me up, like put my feet up. Yes, feeling good. Let me come down. Getting cozy here, folks.
Cozy.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, I have, and it's been fun. You know, I'm still, like I said, still new to kind of learning how to bet and the spreads and all that stuff. But it's fun. It's fun to bet the underdogs, you know, because they win you the most money, which I love.
Oh yeah, and like it's crazy on the betting is like sports betting is huge, you know. In the past year I've made a lot of money off of sports bet that helped me get through, you know, the time with my injury and not have to worry about working all the time. Sports bets are amazing, but isn't it so crazy how to see like how the bookies put bets, especially on MMA, like football, basketball, like those are pretty accurate, but MMA, like they put Juan Archuleta, as we talked last week, that he won the belt 2 weeks ago. He was a huge underdog, a ridiculous underdog.
I don't understand how and why. Like for me, yeah, no, I'm not betting against my friends. Like, right? It's not going to happen. But I just don't understand how or why. Why do they do that? Or how do they determine those? I don't know. Who's underdog, who's not. I mean, they have to obviously go through a lot of statistical analytics, right? Going back, or maybe I'm completely wrong.
I think it's on paper. What they look at is like, I don't know. They have like some sort of MMA matrix where they go through it. I know like on NFL and stuff and things like that, they look at the players, they look at the team, they look at their past history, they have so much to look back at. But when you look at like an MMA fighter, they only have a certain amount of, information that can be given out. And especially if they give knockouts or if they get, not knockouts, but if you get submissions, if you get a lucky win, things like that, there's just all these just obstacles that you can never predict. So it's very difficult. And then it's usually going to go with someone who hasn't lost as much is going to be the better person than someone who has lost as much. That means they're able to beat, I'm assuming, but it's just weird.
It just seems weird because what if somebody has less experience, but they have more wins? You know what I'm saying? So somebody's 20-5 and there's somebody who's 12-2, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird, but that's the best part. That's why sports betting on MMA is the best. And if you do it correctly, you can make a lot of money. If you look at the lines, if you look at the odds, and if you know your fighters, like we have been looking at, we can make a great amount of money, especially everyone that listens to the podcast. When we start putting these out, if you just we only want you making $20 bets. We don't want you making anything more.
Yeah. No losing bill money, no getting in fights with your boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives. Like, no, we're not trying to do that because, it should be fun and effortless, but, good odds for you to win, which I like.
Absolutely. And that one thing about the sports betting too is most people lose the fact, in Vegas, we do a thing called units, or a lot of bettors call their stuff units. And a unit is usually about 3 to 5% max of your bankroll. And by your bankroll is your betting roll. So if you put $100 down for your betting, you can only bet $3 to $5 per bet. So if I say put 10 units on Israel Adesanya and you only have $100 down, you can only put $30 to $50 down on that fight. And it won't pay out a lot, especially if they're minuses or if they're a favorite and huge. But it's a way that you make a little bit of money by inches and turn that bankroll from, $100 to 1,000 and 1,000 to, 10,000, 10,000 to 100,000. But you have to stick to your units. Most people lose a lot of money whenever they have a bankroll of $100 and they bet $90 on one person. And if that person loses or that team loses, you now are left with $10 and you're not going to make any money.
Got it.
So that's one thing that we're going to help educate people at. I think we also are going to be teaming up with a couple of sports bettors and sports teams. And we're going to bring on some more people on the podcast to have conversations with and talk to them about their sports bet, their sex life, their way they've made it. Who are we bringing up next week?
Yes. Well, Juan Archuleta is going to be here. Him and his family are actually going to be staying with us for the weekend. So super excited. They're going to be here. Well, their flight leaves late Friday night. Then they arrive Saturday morning. And then they have to leave Sunday night. So it's going to be a short trip, but it'll be a fun trip. And I'm excited. I just want to hold that belt. I want to give him a big hug and I want to pop a bottle in celebration. It's overdue for us to celebrate him. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I can't wait to have him on. There's so many questions that I have for Juan. And I've talked to Juan many times in person. We've actually played a game of Top Golf, and it was on TJ Dillashaw's birthday. We were all playing pretty hard. But, he's a cool, humble guy. But when you look at him, if you don't know him, you would think and suspect something different. So, going into his personality, I want to bring it out on the podcast and have our viewers really understand who he is and what he's about, and especially his family. If he's open to talk about that, they're great people. Every one of my teammates have all trained with Juan, and every single one of them will literally give their left arm for.
Yeah, he's just that type of guy. Humble since day one. It's just very deserving, very. I know the amount of work and dedication, and same with his family. His wife helps meal prep, and There's a lot into making a champion, absolutely, but he deserves it more than I don't know anyone I know besides you, of course, Julia.
Oh, look, there we go. As long as I deserve it. That's cool. I think we all deserve it. I think everybody in the world, whatever they go after, I think they do deserve it. And it's great to have a support system
Yes.
Around you. And that's really what helps out. And I could speak for that, is that if it had not been for my support system, there's many times where I would have crashed and crumbled, especially being an injured fighter. Most people don't really understand what it's like to be, out of a job where you're living your dream for, months, years. It's tough. You think of some dirty, nasty thoughts that, once you go down that path, it's hard to get out. But, what keeps you alive is those people that are close to you, those people that are rooting for you, those people that say those little positive things to you. Even if they're not like the most biggest deal, you understand that they're still in your corner.
That's awesome. And you are one of the most positive people that I know. I sometimes like I'm overwhelmed and like, oh my God, like he's like, hey, just chill, and you're always positive. So, I mean, I think it's probably, I don't want to say it's easy to support someone like you, but I think you have good people in your corner for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shit, okay?
You can talk me up. I'm cool. Butter my biscuit, baby girl. I'm all about it. But that's actually a good conversation right there, is that, in your career, because I know in mine, I actually went through, my surgeries down my arm and doing all this. Have you ever had any like adversity that you faced in your career where you were just whatever it may be? Can you like tell me a little bit about that? I never got to ask that question to you.
Good question. I had that, I think in most people who have kind of reached their goals in whatever career choice that they've chosen always encounters adversity. And if you don't, that means that you don't want anything else, because it's easy just to kind of stagnate and just kind of go with the flow and whatever. But everyone who's reached the top, or near the top, has experienced that. When I started, I was, you want to be known, you want to get your name out there, you're constantly trying to network, and there's always those naysayers and people, oh, you tweet too much, you're just all over social media. Well, yeah, I'm all the way in Michigan. I can't get and get to know some of the people, the directors, or just like network in person. So I had to make my presence known on social media. And then my reputation, one week a month, had to be earned. And, and so for me, I felt, the first 3 years, well, I'm not getting the recognition that I deserve. Well, really? People are still just getting to know you at 3 years. At 5 years, 4 or 5 years, I feel is, you really start to be really comfortable in what you're doing. And then, the awards and those types of things start coming. But, I had a period of bitterness. Absolutely. I was like, this is bullshit. It's politics. And a lot of it is politics. Who's greasing whose pockets for the award shows? I'm not sucking my way to the top or fucking, I'm fucking, yes, that's my job, for work, but I'm not my snaky first agent, but actually my first only agent. I remember one time I had a family out there with me that time. She's like, some of the people from AVN, they're all going out in this limo and they wanted you to come and, come hang out. I think it would be a really good career move. And I told her, I'm like, you know what? I have family in town. Like, we're doing a dinner tonight. I'm good with that. Like, I didn't care. Because a lot of, it happens, it happens in all professions. And I'm not downing the girls, like, or anyone, like, you guys do you. But for me, I wanted to earn it the right way, whether it be fan voted in or, just finally getting the recognition that I deserve. So, it sucked. And I was kind of bitter for a while. I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, because I'm not sucking and fucking and I'm not paying. No, it's bullshit. But then, you can't deny the fans, and the fans are, the Lust Army is awesome. I'm grateful for them. And because of them, I think I shouldn't say AVN, these award shows had to recognize that you can't deny, like, she's winning these fan votes or whatever. Like, give her the recognition that she deserves. Yeah. So in a nutshell, but there's a lot of performers out there still, that I don't think get the recognition that they deserve. Like, I don't think Brandy Love has ever won an AVN. I mean, she's all over. She's beautiful. She's classy. She's sexy, and, yeah, I just feel like, yeah, you got to give credit when credit's due.
So are you telling me that we're about to start the Beauty and the Beast podcast porno awards where we're going to start recognizing these different, elite stars that, that we believe that are doing the right things and everything. And it's not, they don't have to hook up with us or do something to get ahead. Is that what you're saying right now? Are we about to do this?
Yeah, I mean, like Pornhub has their own award show. There's Xbiz, there's AVN, which, okay, in hindsight, I am grateful though that I did encounter that adversity because it did mentally, it made me stronger, and I understand now a lot of things, but yeah, we should just do our own award show. Why
I think
not?
let's start doing our own award show, the Beauty and the Beast. Let's do it like we'll do Beauty and the Beast of the week, and then we'll do Beauty and the Beast award. What would it be, like a award show, like porn
Like, or
awards?
just like we should just do like okay, not porn because not everybody's doing porn. Like, I don't know.
Fuck it. I think we should stick to porn. That way we can highlight some of these people. Like there are a lot of OGs and new up and comers that aren't getting the amount of love because they're not, you have to work your way up. You have to work your way through the system. And then, sometimes other people have favorites. It happens in every job. There are people that have more benefits, and how they got those benefits, I don't know. Or some people have better characteristics and that have that everybody wants that on there. So I believe that we can shut all that out and we can start our own award show. I think we should start handing out flyers. Give them plaques each week. We'll do it a month. We'll do our award show a month, and we'll put the polls up on Instagram and Twitter, and then we'll pick the male and female adult star, and then we'll just kind of go of the month. It's going to be boom, and then we'll send them out a little package, a little Beauty and the Beast picture.
I'm down. We can coordinate something. I mean, I'm down. Let's do it. Let's give recognition credit where credit's due.
Let's do it. Like we could do the cocksucker award, and we could do the biggest dong award, and
biggest ball slapper award.
Biggest ball slapper. Oh man.
Titties, yeah.
The most creative award. Like there's some. Have you not seen some of these positions these people get into? You're like, what the fuck? How did you do?
The pretzel where the guy, the girl's like on top of the guy, she's facing this way, he's facing this way, and they're like heads down, like
he like full Nelson's her in the air.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that. I'm like, golly, how the fuck do you do that? You got my award.
Right?
You got my creativity award. But that only happens, like you never really see someone a male doing that to like a taller, more, more defined woman. We're talking about these are little women. Like Kinsey Reed, or Kinsey Reeves, Riley Reed. Like that's the people that are getting wild and crazy on that.
Yes.
I like it. We're just going to be giving out awards every other week.
Right. They have to collect them in person though.
Yeah.
No, I'm totally kidding. That's so bad. See, now I'm sounding like a creep.
Over to my place now. The guys can go over to yours, but I'll take all the girls. It's cool. I like that a lot. I think that would be fun, and we could play with it back and forth. And it just gives fans to look forward to, and interactive with fans too, man. Like our fans are the best. Like honestly, all the questions they come up with, all of like just the love that they share. And a lot of your fans come into my DMs, and they answer a lot of questions or they give us a lot of questions that maybe they didn't ask you and they wanted to ask me to ask you, things like that, which is really cool, which is really, really cool.
Good. Have you received any pictures lately?
Yes. All dudes. All fucking dudes.
Me too. I opened one. I was like, maybe I'll have something, decent. And it was just like this cockpit. But, I didn't check to see if he had his feet in there. I need to know.
Oh, to see his feet? Did he take a perfect shot? Is that?
I don't know. It wasn't actually my email. And I was like, why am I even opening this? I know it's something bad, but sometimes I think maybe it'll be something worthwhile. Get me every single time. Boom, cock. It's fucking.
That is hilarious. There is a email that you sent, that Chuck sent me. Professor X sent me a while back, and it was that wiener picture, the dude with his cock out. And I'm sitting here forwarding emails because I had to forward our, creative art by Poppy, our Beauty and the Beast pictures. And I was forwarding them. I was like, oh, here's another one from you guys. And I clicked on it and almost forward. Did you just show?
Yeah. It's big.
Is that's a penis that you just showed me?
Yeah, but I don't know what's going on with the balls.
Don't show it to me.
Sorry.
I don't want to see that.
Sorry, Suri. Suri didn't catch it either.
Siri?
I feel like that angle makes it look bigger, but he does have good lighting. Not bad.
What?
Sorry.
You can admire it all you want. Either way, let's answer some of these questions. Let's go into more questions that these fans have, because again, they've been asking them, so we gotta answer these. The one question is, this person has, it says, work in porn movies was your job, or do you really like sex? Does it matter with anyone?
Absolutely. I mean, I'd like to think that people who go into this career path, profession, like sex. They're like, why would you do it? However, I have worked with some people that are very questionable. I think they're either over it or they just are bitter because, same thing as over it. But for the most part, I think people that go into it, you have to like it, right?
No, I mean, I would assume that I wouldn't do a job that I hate. I mean, I guess like most people hate serving, but they're in serving because, they make more money while they're in serving than they do in the actual job that they went to college for, or whatever degree. So it's just easier to pay that off. I could see them doing that, but I don't know with porn, like.
It's really, I don't know. I guess it's for girls, it's easier to fake, with guys, you really can't. I think most of them, but I do think that there is a percentage that, they could really care less and they're just kind of there for the paycheck. And that's fine, whatever, but for the most part, yeah, no, I enjoy what I do. I enjoyed my last night, so yeah, I'm still loving what I'm doing.
I love it. It's a good answer. As long as you love what you're doing, then you're not really working. You're just having fun, right?
That's right.
We have another question here, and this one is the adverse effects of porn on female porn stars and porn addiction on audience.
Okay.
I don't
know that there's an adverse effect on women in porn. I mean, I can't speak for everyone. I don't know. I don't think it's had any adverse effects. Really, everybody watches it. It's not a big deal to me. It hasn't really affected me. If anything, it's affected how people view me, but that's their problem, not mine. Porn addiction. Oh yeah, it's a real thing. It's an absolute real thing. You can get anything, on the internet. You can see any type of porn on the internet. I always go back to goofy clown porn, but yeah, it's there. So if you don't, it can be addicting too. I don't know. I've heard of guys just, and women too. It's an addiction.
Well, I could speak for I know some friends that we've actually had to have conversations with, like guys that, and I'm friends with their girlfriend, their significant other, things like that. And they feel comfortable asking me questions, tell me, hey, can you help us out? We're struggling. And the thing is that he's watching so much porn and he's jerking off so much that the feeling of him and her is gone. He'll go soft when he's going with her, or he just can't get off. And it's because his mental is so into these videos where it's almost like a fantasy the whole time, where you see these sexual positions, these women, and how they're moaning and making noise, and everything's perfect. When you find that right video, everything's everything that is great on it. And when you go to the real thing, it's not the same exact feeling that you had, that you were pleasuring yourself with. So I think it could be females too, is if you watch it too much and you masturbate, it's gonna have an effect on your relationship because you're living in a fantasy and
Yes.
you're thinking of fantasy the whole time where you can't get out of that and decipher which is which.
Yeah. And I think that is unfortunate because I'll be honest, I think a lot of like the younger guys are, they feel like my girlfriend should be performing. Like, that's not like, this is not reality. It's like sex on steroids, it's just, not every single night's going to be like that. It's just not reality. This is, supposed to be, everything's supposed to be perfect. And the hot mom is supposed to just, let the guy bang her because he's into her. This is called fantasy. It's heightened. It's, everything is hyper sexual. It's, so I think guys need to understand that, like you were saying, and be able to differentiate because real life isn't like that. It's not perfect like that. It's not going to happen like that. So I think once they get that, or maybe like watch it together or talk about it, I don't know. I just feel like it's a false sense of what like sex should be all the time.
Absolutely. And that kind of leads us into like the last question we're going to go with. And it says, what is your fantasy? Like, what is your fantasy? That's us both. What is our fantasy? But what is your fantasy?
First.
Me, a fantasy. Oh man, honestly, I never really thought of it. Like, what would be a great fantasy that I would enjoy? I don't know, man. I never really like sat there and like, oh, I want like chicks on chicks on chicks, all on me, touching me, rubbing me. Like that would be fun, but I don't really think I have, like when I think of fantasy, I think of like cosplay, like role playing like style. I don't know, maybe like the teacher. I'll be the student teacher with the apple and like two teachers because I need extra help, get some extra credit, know?
That's right. You're struggling in that class so much.
I need it. I've been in detention too many times.
Ooh,
but I brought an apple.
Good. That's perfect. Okay. Yeah, no, I think most guys have had that too, right? Like you've had a hot teacher, you remember like in school that, I think Professor X has one too. Like, I think you ran into her not too long ago.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I think somewhere. And I was like, aw, I think I brought her up in sex one time, like, just to fucking make it hot for him, whatever.
Yeah.
That was cute, So I think it's normal. It's healthy. Absolutely. So good for you. That's a good one. I think it's a good one.
What about you? What is your fantasy?
I don't know. For me, I feel like, in my personal, I don't know. Like, okay, fantasies, like a lot of them have just kind of, they weren't really fulfilled on film. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it was more like a job and I wasn't really able to kind of let loose. So for me, it would be kind of cool just to have like, I don't know. Like, I have like a couple different ones. Like, I like the kind of weekend getaway girl fantasy, like just me and a girl just enjoying like the weekend together, just like hanging out and then getting super dirty at night and just girl time. Like, to me, that's fucking hot. Like,
because you've done acted out all fantasies for any of us like that want to have the fantasy. You played all these different roles, so you technically have had that.
Yeah, but
you never really had the fantasy.
Yeah, right. So something like that would be really hot. I don't know. I've got some really twisted ones, so I'll have to share those with Professor X. Like, I don't know that I could even put some of these out here.
Maybe we can save.
They're really wild.
Maybe be able to save it for next week, but let's slowly close this up and let's talk about our Beauty and the Beast of the week. I'm gonna go with for our Beast of the week. I am throwing it out there right now. It is going to be the James Krause. Now, James Krause has been cornering fighters all over, like every other weekend in Abu Dhabi for the UFC, at UFC in the Apex, back and forth. And last night I was with James Krause at his house at his son's first-year-old birthday. James literally got a phone call. They offered him a fight because he needed to step up, or they needed someone to fill the fight. They offered him a fight, and first thing what James said is, yes, accept
Okay.
the fight. This same James Krause did the same exact thing whenever they were in Texas, I'm pretty sure, when he fought Trevin Giles. It was a 24-hour notice fight. Literally at weigh-ins, said yes. The weigh-ins, his actual weigh-in was his weigh-ins. Whenever they did a ceremonial weigh-ins, 24 hours, he weighs in, goes in the fight, arguably wins the fight. They gave Trevin Giles the first round, even though James was on his back for 4 minutes and 30 seconds in the first round. But one judge gave Giles the first round, which caused Giles to win it, which was really terrible.
Wow.
Complete robbery, but that's a gangster move with a gangster guy out of Lee Summit, Missouri. He owns his own gym, Glory MMA and Fitness. He coaches a lot of fighters like myself, Julian Marquez, Megan Anderson, Grant Dawson, Kevin Kroom, Jason Witt, Gina Mazzani, Tim Elliott. We have all these high-level UFC fighters that it's under him, and he's focusing on all of them, yet he's able to maintain his family. He's able to maintain his career. He's able to maintain his business. So he's a hustler. It's a straight beast. The James Krause. Have you seen pictures of him? Do you know exactly which one he is?
I'm right now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this guy's a savage, and he needs more recognition than what people are given.
Awesome.
He's he's intelligent with what he does. He is smart when it comes to training his fighters, and it's smart what he does with his body. He has his whole team together. They all of us go to the same strength and conditioning place at the same time to get teamwork. We have scheduled practices, and if you're not there, he's calling you. He makes you check your weight every morning. He has everything down to a dial and makes sure his team follows the program, follows the rules, follow his stuff. I'm telling you, this guy is one of the best coaches, if not the best coaches, that need the recognition. And this is where we're going to get it out here on the Beauty and the Beast podcast.
That is awesome. I just followed him, and I'm going to have to check out his profile a little bit more. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing and giving us someone else to kind of inspire us. Awesome. All right. So I have the pleasure of giving you the beauty of the week. And
beauty of the week.
This beautiful, she is Latin. Her name is Lisa Daniels, L-I-S-A-D-A-N-I.
Lisa Daniels.
Yes. She is in the adult industry. She is a veteran. She's been around forever. Has her own website. She's always been positive, always been kind, supportive. Just one of the most talented ladies in the industry who was always kind to me. And she actually just texted me. So let's see what she's got going on for me. Maybe something fun, maybe a little invite.
Yeah, she's very, very cute. Is she mixed, or is she looks mixed? I don't know if she's Asian.
No, I believe she's I'm gonna have to find out, but she's
Hispanic. I don't know what it is, but she's mixed with something. Light eyes, light hair, perfectly hourglass shaped body. She's got a trunk on the back that any man would literally roll over in their grave for. Yeah, she looks a little, I don't know if she's like Asian, Hispanic. She might be Cuban, but Brazilian.
Yeah, I think she's got to be. I'm going to ask her. Well, I'll text her after because she's texting me now, but I don't want to be rude. But yeah, I'll find out. I definitely will find out. But I just love her. She's just awesome, and she's always posting sexy content. So she has, like I said, she has a website as well. So you guys will definitely have to follow her. She is our sexy beauty of the week. Woohoo!
I love it. And that's a perfect Beauty and the Beast. James and Lisa, both top prospects in what they do. And they need the recognition. Like and follow them, as well as follow, and subscribe to all of our channels on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. I appreciate you all listening. Kendra?
Thank you guys so much. Let's hope you guys have a great week. We have the fights coming up this weekend, which I'm super excited about. So, yeah.
That's right. And this Friday, we'll drop some bets for you guys to place, as well as we will get you guys pumped up and ready for Juan Archuleta next week. Thank you guys for listening.
Thanks, guys.